Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to go ahead and close the loop on where we were going before, but before I do that, let me start here. This is a quick question. Can we get a copy of the September 16th revised conference policy for the record?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Second thing, I want to go back to what Mr. Walls and Dr. Rowe were saying, and it has to do with culture. I agree with Dr. Rowe. Whether the organization has 4 employees or 320,000 employees, if you get the right culture, you can have fewer policies, you can have fewer procedures, and so forth. If employees are properly disciplined because they don't exercise the proper amount of gray matter in making a decision, then the other employees are not damaged, their reputations aren't hurt in the process. And so what we have here at the VA is a situation where a few folks made really bad decisions, and it has sort of impugned the reputation of the other 320-some-odd thousand that are out there working hard for our vets. That's not what we want to have happen to any of our folks. The reason this is so critically important to me is because in my district, in the Waco VA regional office, we've got the worst claims processing record in the country. That's not directly on point with what we're talking about here today. However, the VA, a vet sees the VA as the VA, all of it, whether it's wasting money on a Dash Dawson video or whether it's spending millions of dollars to go to Orlando or to stay at the Venetian or whatever. They see this waste, they see their grandchildren's money being borrowed from the Chinese because people are making classically bad decisions. So I'm going to come back to the question I had before. Under the new policy that you're going to have, if an employee is found to have violated either your statute or policy or procedure, are you going to discipline and or fire that employee? Yes or no?
So you know that I am constrained just a little bit by law on my answer here. Let me answer personally and then in my formal role. On a personal basis, should there be accountability for this behavior? You betcha. In my professional role, I have an unbending obligation to make sure that the individuals involved have due process.
Yeah, I didn't say, I wasn't taking away due process. Assuming you've gone through due process and you have found that they violated statute, policy, procedure, are they going to be disciplined? But are the American people going to know that they were, is the taxpayer going to know they were treated fairly? And is a veteran going to know that they were treated fairly out of this process?
I believe they will. And sir, you started off just a moment ago with perception. And I agree with you most strongly that a few have tarnished the reputation of a many. But when we started off this hearing, we had pictures put on the flat screen around the room. And it included pictures of a vacation in Italy. What was implied is that something untoward had happened here, that public funds had been used, that this was a junket paid for by government. Now, we've been doing a little bit of research as I've been sitting here, and this was a personal vacation. And it shouldn't have been posted on the website, but no VA funds were used. I think that we need to think carefully when we talk about culture, that there are 320,000 hardworking employees at VA that don't like having their reputation damaged and sullied by this kind of activity. That explains why we take so seriously the problems, and we're dead set on fixing them. But at the same time, we've got to hold on to the idea of their reputations and hard work in this process.
Well, and Mr. Flores, if you yield for just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gould.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Why was it on VA's official Facebook page?
Clearly, an individual must have posted it there. We'll get to the bottom.
Is that correct or not? Should it have been or not?
We'll get to that. No, my view is that it shouldn't have been on the website. It'll be taken down immediately, sir.
It already was taken down the minute that we brought it up. It disappeared.
Terrific. But, sir, I mean, I hope you understand that putting that kind of information up is a slap at the employees who work at VA every day. And respectfully, sir,
Mr. Gould, let me tell you something.
No.
You and I had a very civil conversation yesterday afternoon.
Yes, we did.
I have not one time slapped at any of the 300,000 VA employees. I have slapped at the leadership. And your responses in the last 15 minutes have just raised what we call the hackles on the back of my neck again. The truce is over. It lasted less than 24 hours. Expect much more oversight from this committee. Don't you ever accuse a Democrat or a Republican on this committee of slapping any of the hard-working 300,000 VA employees. Rest assured, it's the leadership that we're concerned with. And with that, expect more questions from this committee, this hearing this morning, for the record, because they're coming in great volumes. This hearing's adjourned.